Reporting to you live from the trenches of third dimension. I am your reporter extraordinaire, Brian. What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to explain some of the symptoms that you might be on the path to ascension. I'm also going to discuss the top 3 reasons we took birth. And I'm going to conclude with some tips on how to counter these, how to tap into our highest potential, how to tap into our highest timeline, and to live a richer, more rewarding, fulfilling, and abundant life. I, like everyone else here in this third dimensional reality, was conditioned to believe existence was a certain way. We were programmed by society, by our parents, by people who meant well, to believe reality was a certain way. But sooner or later, along the lines of spiritual awakening, we begin to question reality. We begin to ask these important fundamental questions that others aren't asking because we are beginning to pierce the veil. And by veil, I don't merely mean the veil of forgetting, which is what we all take when we take birth, is we forget who we are so that we can remember. That's part of the game, is that this universe is one infinite consciousness that is constantly concealing and revealing its true nature. It's all a game. I mean, what we do matters, but term simulation I don't like, but life is a dream. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Advance confidently in the direction of your dreams. Advance confidently knowing that when we pursue our passion and when we pursue our dreams, the entire universe conspires in our favor to make it happen. So part of this piercing the veil is that we begin to ask questions, and typically, as in my case, was enduring extreme hardship, extreme pain and suffering, which was self-inflicted. Enduring this and it triggering awakening, it triggering a collapse of the egoic identity. The ego is the character. This person, this body, this mind is just one aspect of me. I'm an aspect of the divine. So are you. So is everything else. Because consciousness is the underlying reality. It's all one thing. So another way of putting this is the world, and indeed the universe, is an appearance. It's essentially a mirage. It's in a constant state of change. Nothing, absolutely nothing is as it appears. And there's one underlying reality, that's consciousness. Some would say God. You could say God alone is real. Everything else is an appearance within God, within the one underlying substratum that is consciousness, awareness. That is the interpersonal being that penetrates everything. It is in that by which everything lives and moves and has its being. I am consciousness, you are consciousness. We are on a evolutionary journey back to the formless ground of all being. So when I am identified with the mind and body, meaning that I don't realize that I'm actually consciousness, that this is a dream, that everyone I encounter is an aspect of me, that the universe is non-local, meaning that the pattern of the whole is encoded in every part. And science is actually beginning to understand what the ancients knew thousands of years ago, is that the universe is a hologram. It's holographic, meaning the pattern of the whole is encoded in every part, and this is a dream. So when we fail to see this underlying reality, when we fail to pierce the veil, we suffer. You know, it's part of the cosmic dance that we all have roles to play, but through development, through self-awareness, through spiritual practices, and essentially what all amounts to awakening, we can pierce that veil and we can understand the underlying oneness. We can actually see the underlying oneness, which is the seer. The seer cannot be seen. All objects of perception are unreal. It is the seer that is the underlying reality. And I've spent years studying these advanced concepts, so I will try to distill them in its simplest terms and offer you something beneficial. So that brings me to the first point on this, where the ascension symptoms I have been experiencing and what I'm doing to counteract them. My energy levels are through the roof. If your energy levels are through the roof, you're experiencing unexplained symptoms like headache, joint ache, muscle pain, high frequency noises, mystical experiences, lucid dreams, out-of-body experiences, precognition. These are all dormant abilities. These are all natural abilities. As our DNA activates, we will have access to. And so how I counter these ascension symptoms is by seeking the will of the one, seeking guidance, turning inwards, abandoning worldly pursuits in favor of spiritual development. Because when you realize it's a dream, you realize the things that you chase in this world really don't matter, and that we're all actually here to evolve, and that is first and foremost. And some of us are here to help awaken the masses who are completely oblivious. We have plunged into the material realm and most people have completely forgot or neglected the more subtle and eternal aspects of our being. So these ascension symptoms are part of this awakening cycle that we're under. If you're seeking content like this, you may have chose to incarnate here for specific reasons, and accessing this blueprint, your soul's blueprint, is of the utmost importance of piercing the veil. Because we all have a role to play here. You know, our spiritual evolution is of the utmost importance, but we cannot neglect our dharma, our duty, our reason for being here. And as your award-winning journalist in long-term recovery, I am reporting facts from the field from years of research. And now bringing that forth is that these are ascension symptoms. The universe is all one thing. CIA acknowledges this. The rulers of the earth know this, and they're using this against the masses. And that's part of the game too, is that polarity. There's dark and light, negative and positive, good and evil coexisting in this cosmic drama. But one of the things that has helped me grow along the spiritual path is taking up a sadhana, meaning sadhana is the Sanskrit word for spiritual development. Breathwork, meditation, yoga, fasting, cold exposure, weightlifting, prayer. These are all things, all tools that I use daily. They are so fundamental to spiritual development that I don't even know where to begin, other than to say that what a joy it is to be on this side of spiritual awakening, and to hopefully be of service to others out there who may be going through a dark night of the soul, or looking for someone or information that resonates. If you read The Law of One, have studied that, have studied the works of Bashar. There are many others, huge pillars in the spiritual community who are trying to usher in this new understanding. These concepts that they refer to as New Age is a misnomer. This is actually the world's oldest and most sophisticated spiritual wisdom. Predates Judeo-Christian era by thousands of years, especially in the East. Especially in the cradle of all religion, of all civilization, is in India, the Sanatana Dharma, the Vedic texts. Said all that aside to say the top 3 reasons that we took birth. And I go with the first reason being that it is to know thyself. We came here to forget who we are so that we could remember, to know thyself. Self-knowledge is absolute knowledge. When you know who you are, when you understand that you are an aspect of the one and it's all one thing, it will facilitate the great work, as they say. In addition to knowing thyself, reason number 2 we are here is to bring that into our physical being, to bring in higher levels of light, higher frequency energy, to usher in our higher selves into the physical form. So number 1 is to know thyself. Number 2 is to bring that into the physical vehicle. And to number 3 is to be of service to others, to bring this message to the masses, to help facilitate humanity's awakening cycle, to help us remember who we are, to live a more joyous, harmonious existence. All the old paradigms are doomed. The institutions that have dominated this planet, built around the ego, whether it's religious institutions, industries, educational institutions, all of these things are built around the ego, and therefore are essentially in the long run doomed. And so share this content with you, and I'm going to be sharing more. I'm going to be uploading more on a regular basis. If you like it, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe. If there's anything else I can share, please put that in the comments. I love you all. Have a wonderful day.